Hello everyone, welcome to a review of this, a nigh on 20-year-old Almera Tino. The one I'm reviewing today is a 1.8 automatic with only 56,000 miles and one owner. So should you be considering one of these cars, well, let's get this out of the way. These Almera Tinos, for whatever reason, this is the 1.8 petrol, but it's not ULEZ compliant. So if you're in one of those low emission zones, just double check, because not all of these will be compliant in your area. Otherwise, look at it, it's as dull as anything. God blimey. Practicality is the name of the game on this car, not good looks or excitement for that matter, or anything else really. It's one of those turn your key, get to where you need to go, and it will get you there kind of cars, with minimal fuss and minimal excitement. Yeah, a snooze fest if ever there was one in terms of the design aspects. But one thing for sure, this is a family car, right? So look at the huge windows, fantastic for kids. And so because they're so huge and the waistline is quite low, the kids can see out and they won't feel sick, motion sick, as you're driving on long journeys, for example. And also they won't keep going, are we there yet? Because basically this is so boring and no fuss, they'll probably fall asleep. What do you think? Give me your views. What does it look like? Anything? Do you think it looks pretty? I most definitely don't think so. So shall we have a look at the inside in terms of practicality? So if we start from the back, fantastic thing about the Tino is that it has 3 separate seats, so people of different lengths can adjust to their liking, and there's enough leg space. So if I go in here, I'll show you. There you go, not bad, loads of knee room there. And this is going to be occupied by children, so I'm not going to do that thing what all reviewers say, oh look, this is not enough for a 6 foot man. Who cares? This is for children, mate. You know. Anyway, here we go. There we go. Nice and sturdy. And look at this. After 20 years, still working nice. And this is a one owner car, by the way. So that's why it's so nice, neat and tidy. Look at that. Nice sunroof. Lovely condition inside. These seats are nice and compliant. They don't go out too much. So in the rare occasions you might have adults in here, they're not going to be the most comfortable in terms of under thigh support for long journeys. So and then in terms of head space, there's a little bit of a divot here. It's quite low, and so for such a practical looking car, the head space is not much. I don't know if I can show you from the angle here, but I'm 5'6" and I just about get in. That dreaded thing about 6 footers, now I'm going to mention it, they might find it a squeeze, but your average passengers that are going to be little kiddies, this is plenty spacious, plenty comfortable, and these are nice and compliant seats, and they're very hard wearing, so really good. The only downside, obviously, with it being cloth and grey, you get dirty very quickly if you've got kids in the back, but hey ho, nice little touch there to put your bag in. In terms of practicality, door bins are really small, you can't put any drinks on here. You've only got this little bit here, and you've got 3 people in the back but only 1 place to put a cup. Oh well, there you go. You know, it's that nice little touch there, kick plate there, just so the bit where as people come in and stuff like that, like this, or rest their feet if they're in the middle, it doesn't wear out. So that's a nice little touch from Nissan there. And it doesn't stop there, there's underfloor storage. As if by magic, look, I lifted it up. But look at that, it's cavernous. Wow, it's huge. And the same is here, so the kids can stow away loads of secret sweeties while the parents aren't looking. Shall we go to the front? Okay, coming to the front, one thing about these mini NPVs, especially if you've got mobility difficulties, or indeed at the back if you need to just slide your kid's car seat in, it's at the perfect height. Look at the seat there. So again, I'm 5'6" and literally I can just slide in. So it's fantastic if you've got mobility difficulties, or you want to get your heavy car seat in really easy. So if I just slip myself in, so that's nice. There you go, nice and comfortable. How's it like in here? Well, back in the day, to be honest with you, back in 2003, well, this came out in 2001, but back in the day, this would have looked quite space age, to be honest with you. I mean, very cheap plastics, but as you can see, very hard wearing, hearty plastics all round. And I think I like this wraparound dash, quite liking it. It's just this ruins it. It's all this nice swoopy, and then you got this big blob here. But the good thing about this is, look at this. It's a 2003 car. It's got climate control, and check this out. Even in the base spec, this is the facelift model. So when you get the facelift model from 2003 onwards, they got this feature back in the day as standard. Reverse camera. Would you believe it? I know it's common now, but back in the day, my goodness, I know it's black and white, but what an excellent feature to provide as standard, Nissan. Good on you. Look at that. So, in terms of practicalities, good amount of legroom in here. Headroom's much better on this side. You got nice sunroof here, so it's nice airy cabin. The mirrors I think are a little bit small for the size of car, so they could do with being a bit bigger. But other than that, it's an okay place to be. Back in the day, like I said, this would have felt really special and spacious. And I really like how the controls are here. It's so easy to get hold of, like this, so convenient. And then the steering wheel feels really good. I like this generation of Nissan steering wheel. It's got the nice amount of, just the right amount of girth there, just to hold on to and drive nicely. As you'll see from my driving in a little bit, it is very handy indeed. But other than that, nothing special. Good old gearbox. This gearbox, automatic gearbox, is very robust. The engine, the 1.8, not so economical, but shall we see how it drives? So, despite the 1.8 engine, it's not really the most sprightly car in the world, but it gets along fine enough for a family car, and I suppose that's its intended purpose. In terms of suspension setup, it's nice and soft, so over the humps and bumps it's really nice. Just don't throw it around the corners, because it will get a little bit wallowy. And insulation isn't the best in the world, so you can hear quite a lot of road noise. Otherwise, good visibility all around. The mirrors are a little bit small, so that's not fantastic, but otherwise nice airy cabin, good visibility, nice comfortable ride. Just not a sporty one, but this is a family vehicle for A to B, so that's not to be expected. So for that purpose, it's all good. It drives like it looks. No fuss, boring, but get you from A to B. One thing I didn't mention when I was doing the interior, I mean, one of my bug I absolutely cannot understand. This is an absolute ridiculous. How can you have this? This is just, come on, put proper ones on, Nissan. What are you playing at? But other than that, the only thing, because this is the low S spec, there's no armrest, but in the higher SE, etc. and Sport, they have armrests, which are really handy, to be honest with you. I missed that on this one. But other than that, should you go for these? Well, they're hugely reliable cars actually. You know, hardly anything really goes wrong with them. Just maintain them and they're alright. Other than that, the usual maintenance stuff. And this particular car, I just put it through its MOT, it passed. It just needed a coil spring. But they tend to be family wagons, so as you will notice from there, they do go through a few supermarket battles in their lives, but they're hearty machines. So if you want something reliable, this car will really do you, and they're very cheap. They're very cheap indeed, so you can get them for under £1,000, plenty around, and definitely low mileage ones like these for under £2,000. The only downside is most of them are not ULEZ compliant, unfortunately, so it depends on where in the country you are. Otherwise, I would have said, if you are in the trade, you know, you're a tradesman, or you just want a family wagon to just ferry the kids from A to B to the school and back, etc. without fuss, this would be the ideal car. It's not the most economical in the world, but that's the trade-off you get. So would I recommend it? Yes, but only if you don't live in one of those low emission zones. Otherwise, grab yourself one. and just use it for your mundane day-to-day tasks. Hope you like and subscribe everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.